Good evening and welcome to the Taft City Council meeting for Tuesday, May 7th, 2013. As courtesy, please turn off your cell phones, and as we start each of our meetings, we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Ron Waldrop and an invocation by Mr. Bill LeBaron. Please rise.
Pledge, salute, or excuse me, backward salute, pledge,
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you for this wonderful day, for your gift of life, for the joy of this community, Lord, and the dedication of your staff members, Lord, and the council. Use them for the betterment of the city and the citizens, we pray. In Jesus' wonderful name, amen.
Amen.
I did that. That's my twice I've done it.
That's why I asked everybody else to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Waldrop. Thank you, Mr. LeBaron. And may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Linder.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Pryor.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Knorr.
Here.
Councilmember Waldrop.
Here.
Thank you very much. First item on the agenda is special recognition, and I'll defer to Mr. Waldrop to present the recognition for Building Safety Week.
Thank you, Mayor Linder. This is from the City of Taft, the State of California, proclamation declaring May 27th through the 31st of 2013 Building and Safety Week. Whereas the City of Taft partnerships in the Kern Energy Watch and continuing effort to address the critical issues of safety, energy efficiency, and resilience in the building environment that affects our citizens, both in everyday life and in times of natural disaster. Gives us confidence that our structures are safe and sound, and whereas the City of Taft adopted building safety, energy, and fire prevention codes also include safeguards to protect the public from natural disasters such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildfires, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Week is sponsored by the International Code Council of Kern Energy Watch to raise awareness of the importance of a building safety, green and resilient building, pool, spa, and hot tub safety, backyard safety, and new technology in the construction industry. Building Safety Week 2013 encourages appropriate steps everyone can take to ensure that the places where we live, learn, work, worship, and play are safe and sustainable, and recognize that the countless lives has been saved due to the implementation of safety codes by local and state agencies. And whereas the City of Taft will provide printed material and a prize drawing in its local office, encouraging the community to learn more about energy efficiency and safety code considerations. And whereas each year in observance of Building Safety Week, Americans are asked to consider projects to improve building safety and sustainable at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments and federal agents in protecting lives and properties. Now, therefore, the City Council, the City of Taft, does hereby declare the week of May 27th through 31st, 2013 as Energy Awareness Week to be celebrated by the citizens and the City of Taft, its employees, residents of all ages, and businesses throughout the community, dated the 7th day of May 2013, signed by the mayor and all council members. Is anybody here? Nobody here?
I don't think there's anybody here for that one, so thank you, Lon.
That's
Appreciate it. We have one more tonight, and I will defer to Mr. Knorr to read that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This proclamation is the City of Taft, State of California proclamation declaring May the 19th to the 25th of 2013 Public Works Week. Whereas the Public Works Department provides services to the City of Taft and are a vital and integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of the community is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as building maintenance, streets, fleet maintenance, refuse collection, sewer line maintenance and construction, as well as wastewater treatment. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these services. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials. And whereas the efficiency and effectiveness of the qualified and skilled staff contribute to the quality of life that residents and visitors enjoy and rely upon. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Taft that we recognize and extend appreciation to our dedicated and skilled staff, and hereby proclaim the week of May 19th through the 25th, 2013 as Public Works Week in the City of Taft. And be it further proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Taft requests that all citizens and civic organizations acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing public works services to our community, and to recognize the contributions which our public works employees make every day to the health, safety, comfort, and quality of life that the citizens of Taft enjoy. Dated this 7th day of May 2013, signed by Mayor Paul Linder and the rest of us council members. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Knorr. I believe this will be presented Thursday, correct? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, gentlemen. Next item on the agenda is a lottery drawing for Safe and Sane fireworks stands for the 4th of July. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Each year, the city accepts applications from qualified nonprofit organizations to operate safe and sane fireworks stands pursuant to the City Code regulations, Title 4, Section 13. Out of the applications received for the lottery drawing, 4 will be selected plus 1 alternate. Their primary organization has multiple auxiliary affiliated organizations. Only the first name drawn for the organization will be granted a license to operate, and the other no longer will be considered eligible. Organizations submitting applications for the 2013 July 4th celebration are as follows: Calvary Temple Church, First Samoan Assembly of God, Mission, I can't read that, Apostolica, Taft Lions Club, Taft Midway Sunset Lions Club, Taft Midway Sunset Lions Foundation, Taft Sportsman's Club IDPA, Taft Sportsman's Club, and Junior Division. The newspaper ad stated the applications will be accepted through April 30th, 2013.
Thank you very much. This is always fun. So we're going to select 4 that will be allowed to have stands, and we'll have 1 alternate in the event that one of those clubs decides not to have the stand. The alternate can step in. Correct?
Yeah.
And these are only in the city limits of Taft.
That is correct. Yeah, these are only for operation within the city limits, and Erica is going to read those names, put them in the basket, and gentlemen, you'll each draw one out.
I have Calvary Temple. I have the Taft Midway Sunset Lions Club. I have the Taft Sportsman's Club. I have Mission Apostolica de la Fe en Cristo Jesus. First Samoan Assembly of God. Taft Lions Club. Taft Midway Sunset Lions Foundation. Taft Sportsman's Club IDPA. Taft Sportsman's Club Junior Division.
Okay, so the first drawing is for a permanent stand, 1 of 4. You know what, we should read them out now, in case we do get a duplicate, they go back in because they can be the alternate.
All right.
So we'll leave it with you for the moment.
First up, Taft Sportsman's Club, IDPA.
Mission, apostolic, faith.
Read the whole thing so we don't get confused.
Can you please read the whole thing for the record?
She had no problem with that.
Apostolic. I practiced.
Apostolica.
Okay, then I'll. Okay. I have Taft Sportsman's Club, so it'll have to go back in.
Taft Midway Sunset Lions Foundation.
Nope, that's a good one, I think.
Taft Lions Club.
Okay, that one will have to go back in. Oh, wait, no, that's correct.
With it.
Sorry about that.
So that's a good one?
Joe.
So I'm going to put mine back in, and this will be for the alternate, okay? And it will be Taft Sportsman's Club Junior Division.
Thank you.
That is the alternate. Okay. But they can be the alternate. They just can't be, okay?
All right.
We got all that? Thank you, Eric, I appreciate it. Okay, so, we're done with that one. Moving on to item number 3 is citizens' request for public comment. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. And the only person wishing to speak that signed up is Kathy Orrin with the Chamber. Good evening, Kathy.
Good evening. Esteemed gentlemen, there is another person here that would like to speak who just did not arrive in time, and that is Jill Eglin from the United Way. So if you wouldn't mind writing her down, and she'd be happy to speak to you after I'm finished.
Thank you.
Okay. For those of you that were part of the car cruise on Friday night, it was a wonderful car cruise. We were very excited. It was very well attended, and I just thank you if you were part of that. It made you happy to be a Taftian. So it was well attended and well done. 2 bands on 2 different blocks played, and it was a good time. Cinco de Mayo happened until about 1:30 when the wind came.
I got there during the good time.
Oh my gosh.
Cinco de Blowo, huh?
It was incredible. But I do want to acknowledge the hard work of Ed Herrera, who is one of our board members and chairperson for the event. We had Los Dos, a husband and wife team from Bakersfield, who sang, and they did a wonderful job. And then we had Ballet Folklorico from Bakersfield, and the kids and the adults had beautiful costumes. They did a beautiful job. They almost were swept away, but we thank them very much for being there. And we thank all of our board members that were there and the people that supported that. It was just one of those things. It was miserable. So we have another Cinco de Mayo in the books. I want to invite all of you tomorrow for our sit and sip. We will be at 217 Center Street, which is the home of Monarch Fleet Services, owned by Manny Campos. We will be having our sit and sip there at 9. We'll be able to tour that wonderful facility. And then at 11:30, Manny's asking everyone to come back for the ribbon cutting because he will be having a wonderful lunch for everyone. So you'll not want to miss homemade tacos. That's at 11:30. And I'm hoping some of our city councilmen will be able to come to make it official. You know, you always need dignitaries to make things official. Huh? So that's at 11:30 tomorrow. Thursday, the grand reopening of Rite Aid will be happening at 10 o'clock, and I'm happy to announce that Rite Aid has joined the Chamber. So we are, we're very pleased, very pleased. So we will be assisting them with their grand reopening. And if you haven't been there, it's beautiful. They've done a wonderful job. I want to remind you of the Fort Spaghetti Dinner coming up Thursday evening. That's the spaghetti dinner and dessert auction. And then on Saturday, West Hills Church of the Nazarene will be having a carnival, free carnival, from 10 to 2. That's across the street from the rec. And it's always fun. There's free prizes, free food, and bounce things that have water slides and all kinds of things. So it's really a good time. And it's free to the public. Our next sit and sip will be on the 15th. And as Mr. Jordan suggested, we're probably going to have to give you breadcrumbs because it's been a while since we've had a sit and sip at the Chamber. We've been all over the place. But Catherine Anspaugh from Make-A-Wish Foundation will be our speaker. She will be telling us about things happening with regards to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, many of them going on with people in our community. And then, of course, Relay for Life happens on May 18th, and I know many people are involved in that. It's always a pleasure to talk about the events of the Chamber, and we're very excited. Things are going very well. We'll soon be starting our farmers market. It doesn't seem possible, but the first Thursday in June will be our first farmers market. So very excited about that. I appreciate the chance to update all of you, and I'd like to introduce my friend Jill Eglin from the United Way, if that's possible.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council, for allowing me to speak. The reason I came today is because you know, the United Way for about 50 years now has been committed to the betterment of Kern residents through programs that impact the health, education, and income of folks' lives. And one of the programs we have is known as Born Learning. And Born Learning is based on the understanding that kids are born learning and that parents are their first teachers. So, and as you probably know, it's critical to make sure that parents, or find ways really for parents to get the tools they need to empower them to be the kinds of teachers their kids need. One of the ways that United Way has come up with for doing this is it's called the Born Learning Trail. And you have to think of it sort of as like a circuit training for babies. And it consists of 10 stations, such as this, that, you know, and some of them are very condensed, you know, they're in a very condensed area, and some are drawn out over maybe a quarter of a mile. And so a parent or a guardian goes with their child from station to station, and they do the activities on the trail. And it's a whole variety of things that are out to really they're not just developmentally sound, but they're also meant to foster this relationship, this particular relationship between the parent and their child. So we would like to donate a trail, a Born Learning Trail, to the city of Taft. And it would be bilingual. So there'd be English on one side, and then on the other side would be the Spanish. And actually, as I was thinking about it, I thought it would be really cool to have it on the Rails to Trails greenway through the city. We would assume responsibility for the signs themselves, also for seeing that the installation was done. And we would also be responsible for coming up with the model for maintenance that would have no fiscal impact on the city. So our hope is that this is something that you would see as a cool cool resource for the city. And if so, we've got them ready to go, and we would love to see it installed, say, even in June, like mid-June. So that's why I'm here, and hopefully this is something that you will think is neat too, and we can work together on getting this installed. Thank you.
Absolutely. Before you go, please make sure that we have your information, because we'll have to act on this at our next council meeting. I don't see it being an issue at all. In fact, I think it's a great idea, and I think your idea of the trail is also an excellent place, because there's a lot of people that use it. So please make sure that we have the information so we can get a staff report up and accept the donation and any of the legalese that has to go along with it. But yeah, that's great. I appreciate you coming in tonight.
Super. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kathy, was there anybody else that needed to speak? We will move on then to the treasurer's report. Welcome back, Ben.
Thank you very much. I got bad news to start with. Our financials this month are delayed by a month, so this report is as of the end of February.
Oh, then we're still in good shape.
2 months before your taxes were due, that's right.
Our total operating cash and investments on that date were $8.5 million. The general fund was $975,000. The funds set aside $388,000 for the special revenue fund, $1.9 million for the sewer fund, $1.1 million for the refuse fund, $2.9 million for the federal wastewater treatment plant fund, $220,000 for the community development agency, and $3,400,000 for the wastewater treatment plant fund. The negatives are as they are every month. The community correctional facility debit is up to $897,000, and the transit fund is $1,370,000. But I understand they were expecting money in, and maybe it's already in, from the state on that. And that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Any
you very
questions,
much.
gentlemen? Thank you, Ben.
If I may, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Dan was saying that he understood that we were expecting some money on the transit fund. The lady who could fill us in on that is sitting right there. I would ask that perhaps she'd enlighten us, since Dan hung that out there.
She was waiting for department reports, wasn't she?
No. No, he's talking about money for the JARC and the New Freedom grant that we had through Caltrans. One was $150,000 and the other one was $200,000, so we received $350,000.
So many pots of money
Yeah.
that we depend on for transit, and it takes a lot of paperwork and time and effort to get them.
So, in effect, and we haven't received any of that.
No, we did receive it.
Oh, we did receive it.
I billed it, I think, 60 plus days ago, and we received it in the month of March or the beginning of
And we have
April.
some TDA claims to further chew down that debt.
Yes, yeah. We have TDA claims coming.
Okay, so those funds aren't reflected in the figure that he gave us.
That's cash balance, yes, no.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, moving on to council statements, non-action. I believe I'm going to Mr. Miller tonight first.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've had a couple of incidences here in the last couple of days in regards to motorcycle use. And I think the chief's probably going to come up and talk about it in the department reports. But what's going on, one was going up and down our new trail out there, and as soon as he saw the police car, he took off. And that's against law. You can't do that. And just tonight, we had a motorcycle out on Veterans Park doing wheelies and tearing the grass up. And our chief went out to say, hi, come on over here. Vroom, took off. That one we had a plate number off of. So hopefully we'll have good news when the chief comes up to speak on the department reports. But sadly, this one out here in the park was an adult, not some kid that could maybe not know better, but we're going to, you know, if he tore the grass up out here, and if we get a conviction, we're going to go after him for damages. And if there's any other damage to the park here, I would hope that we would throw that in too. This is your city. And that person that's on those motorcycles is tearing up our infrastructure and your city and making it bad. So when you see that happening, don't think it's funny. Call 911. We'll get our police department out after them. But they're in big trouble when they start running. You're I don't know if it's felony or a misdemeanor or what, but you're in big time trouble now. So hopefully we'll have good news on that. The only other thing I have to say is with the news from Cleveland, I don't know how crazier our world can get than what's happening lately. It's just unbelievable. But what's even more unbelievable is what our legislators in California and in our Congress are trying to do to legislate our way out of dealing with idiots and despicable people. And it really just can't be done. But, you know, diligence by people, I don't know, I'm sure there's a lot of people in that neighborhood in Cleveland saying, oh my God, I wish I would have said something, I wish I would have. And for 10 years, that went on right smack in a close-knit neighborhood, and no one had a clue what was going on. So too bad. But again, what's going on in the political world is just, except for us, of course. Yes. Everywhere else.
When this is normal, you know there's something going on.
Anyway, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. I appreciate your comments. Mr. Waldrop?
The Taft Lions Club got a lease for the Taft Veterans Building to take care of it and to pay all expenses and whatnot. And a concerned lady noticed that we weren't raising and lowering the flag every night. And that's a pretty big job, but I understand what she meant. And then we got a hold of the supervisor's office, and I think his name's Ryan.
Ryan
Very
Schultz.
good man,
Yeah.
very
Ryan
good
Schultz.
man. Anyway, talking with him and getting things going, we got a light put up on the flagpole, and we got a flag, and we're going to have a raising the flag ceremony. And I wish you'd mark your dates, because I would love for the mayor and all council members to be there, please. And it's going to be May the 25th, which is a Saturday. It will start at 10 a.m. and that's at 218 Tyler, the Vets Building, for those that... we're going to have the councilman, the supervisor there, this Ryan. We're going to have the committee from Bakersfield that's going to do the ceremonies. We're wanting to, everybody that's listening to this, all veterans that are in our area would love for you to be there and take part in this. And the lady that brought it to our attention, we wanted her to raise the flag, but I think she's chickening out. She'll be there. But anyway, her name was June Braun.
Yeah.
Bless her heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waldrop. Mr. Cryer?
Thank you, Mayor. Last couple weeks been pretty busy. A lot of going-ons in Taft. I try to make all I can make all the events, and it's pretty tough. But some of them are running congruent, and I was busy. Like Captain Kathy Orrin from Taft Chamber saying, the first Friday was excellent. It was pretty packed. I saw the stores were all open. They're all making money. Some had little barbecue stands out front, and like a couple of special ones. Got a few extra drinks. I enjoyed that part of it. They made time go by quicker, but it was a nice evening, an event. Everything went very well. And then also the Oil Museum had a little fundraiser. They had an open house, and it was nice. It was well attended. The food was great. They had a lot of events going on there also, and that was pretty good. I was not able to make the Cinco de Mayo, but I heard all about it, the wind they had and disrupted, but it's pretty tough. Can't have perfect weather all the time. But also, our Rotary Club, we had a fundraiser. It was very well attended. I'd like to thank all the service in town that participated, helped the Rotary Club, made it a success. The Kiwanis, the Lions, the Seropnis, they all were there to help out, and they were really fun. And also, I'd like to recognize Kathy Orrin. Please come up here. I'd like to recognize you a little bit. Please. Well deserving.
Yeah.
At our fundraiser, we recognize Kathy Orrin as a Rotary Club Citizen of the Year.
That's pretty good honor.
Just imagine my surprise.
Well, we were surprised too, but you're well deserving.
Thank you very much.
And people like Kathy that give back to the community, do a lot for the community, going beyond what her job is as being a director. Yes, she's compensated, but she does more than just being a director there. She goes over and beyond a call of duty, trying to make things work out, working well with her staff. She has a great staff. I can't say enough for them. And just making things work and making things happen. It keeps me busy in town to make all the events and all the happenings. And thank you, Kathy, for all the things you do.
Thank you, Archel.
Congratulations.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Knorr.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm surprised nobody talked about the Great South Taft cleanup.
See, that's what.
You know what? I knew you were going to talk about that, but I was not able to be a part of that day. I had another very serious engagement. I will tell you what that was. It was the very first day that I was allowed to babysit my 10-month-old grandson by myself. His mama and his grandma had to go someplace to some bridal thing, and it was just he and I. And I got to tell you, I'm sorry I couldn't pass that.
He wasn't old enough for a weed eater.
He wasn't old enough for a weed eater, and driving on the tractor would have been kind of rough. But what I do wanted, I wanted to say something before the mayor did, because the mayor and Councilman Miller really went above and beyond for the city, the representation. They walked the path. They walked and they went from house to house, every house, knocked on the door, let people know what was going on. This is not the city, so this is not the people that put them up here. They didn't vote for Randy, they didn't vote for Paul, but it didn't matter. And they let them know what was going to go on, and they were out there and they were humped up and they were working hard that day. And David Couch and Mark Salvaggio and that whole group, and just a bunch of people. There was, how many people in all were involved in that?
It was close to 100.
Close to 100 people, and they dedicated their Saturday. And what is amazing is the transformation from the old representation, ineffective representation that the people in the unincorporated West Side had versus what they have now. And to go from what they had to what we have now, and to reach this pinnacle of cooperative government, not just sitting down and talking and wringing things out, but I'm talking about rolling up your sleeves and getting out there and making things happen and getting the job done, is absolutely amazing. And hats off to everybody involved. Hats off to Supervisor Couch and his staff, and Mark Salvaggio and Ryan. Hats off to our mayor and Councilman Miller. I know that they were up to their elbows in that stuff. And Orchel, I beg your pardon. I wouldn't have missed you if I was there, huh? But anyway, I just want to, because these guys, they're not going to toot their own horn like they should, so I'm going to toot it for them. We can all be very proud of the fact that they did that. And it just goes to show that when they say the West Side is one big family, and we all impact each other's lives, the quality of life, and we should all be concerned. They took it all the way there. They took it to the nth degree. So I'm very proud of them. Just want to let everybody know that, and I'll let Paul give you all the details. But thank you all very much. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate your comments. Actually, I was going to comment on the county city cleanup. It was a joint effort. I'm not going to name names because I'll certainly forget to name somebody, but the big players that stood out in my mind were all the individuals that showed up, but Taft College showed up with the volleyball team. You know, about 30 young women came up, and you talk about stormtroopers. They went through Wood Street like tornadoes. It was really incredible. But you know, we also had support from Albertsons. We had support from I still call it Oxy, but it's Vintage. I guess they are going by two different names. But Oxy was there, barbecued a great lunch for everybody. Just tons of people. City staff showed up, and I will tell you, there's a picture somewhere. If you want to see a great picture, and that is a picture of Craig Jones getting back on a front loader, wearing his OSHA-approved shorts and flip-flops. But man, can that guy work a tractor? He did a great job. So everybody involved.
I grabbed the only piece of equipment that had AC that day.
Smart man. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody did a stellar job, and I think I never did hear a tonnage amount that we got.
We got it. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was over 100 tons.
Okay, well, that's pretty, but you know, in excess of 100 tons was picked up, and Mr. Hampton, bless his heart, was running dumpsters back and forth, and so it makes a difference. It impacts the folks up there, and I'm hoping that they can see that that we do want to be that partner with them. The city isn't a bad guy in this part of the county. We want them to live in clean neighborhoods also. So I appreciate everybody's help. I also wanted to make a comment real quick about Supervisor David Couch and his staff. The Little League ball fields down there has suffered from issues with their septic system on their restrooms. And they really have a nice restroom facility that was built several years ago, but evidently the septic system has had issues. Well, I got an email today that those issues are now taken care of, and all the portalets that were surrounding the nice restroom down there are gone, and the restrooms are back in working order, so I appreciate their help. I also wanted to comment on the police officer. I know how difficult it is for them to lose one. You know, they went by my house chasing that motorcycle today, and I was hoping and praying that he was going to catch him, but then I was also hoping and praying you wouldn't take that squad car out where that motorcycle went, because we can't afford a new one. and you know, I know it showed great restraint on his part, but you know, that guy's going to screw up again, and you guys will catch him if you haven't already, and I appreciate his efforts. Getting back to the issues with the park out here, you know, I equate it when somebody gets on a city property and does destruction the way that this guy was doing on his motorcycle. It's no different than in getting on your front lawn, because you know what? You pay for it. That park out there is not a free thing. Taxpayers pay for that. And if that person got on your front lawn and did exactly what he did, you would be incensed, and you should be incensed when they do it to your public land. So I certainly hope that gentleman will find some deductions from his paycheck. And the last thing I wanted to mention, I wanted to publicly thank Kathy Oren and Mike Long, who accompanied me on a trip to Fresno last week. I will again apologize for the air conditioner in my car quitting on the way home, but but it's under warranty. I didn't really care. It's under warranty. It's a new car, so. Kathy and I had just enough to kind of keep us cool. Mike kept rolling the window down, and you know, bless his heart, he stuck it out with us. But we did attend an economic development summit of sorts in Fresno that was attended by a lot of people. And most of you know, I participated in a panel, and when somebody invites me to participate in a panel, they really ought to know what they're going to get, but they didn't. And so during the process, I wanted to let you know that I explained the issues that we have in Taft, and how CEQA is an issue, and how the Endangered Species Act is an issue for us. And how our partnership with the oil companies is important and that we want to grow, but we want to respect their ability to get to their minerals. But I also took a knock at the Sierra Club because they were fair game. And I told the audience that when you have more kit fox than cats, they're no longer endangered. So anyway, I came off the dais and there was a line of people waiting to speak to me, and I was a little bit scared, but they were all very positive people, and I'm glad Mr. Colson is in the room because one of the people I spoke to was a president or a CEO with Granville Homes, and he bent my ear for about 15 minutes and he said that he would love to come to Taft and look at the property that's available to build houses. And I plan on extending him the invitation to come down and tour Taft and see if there's something that maybe Granville wants to do, and maybe Mr. Colson would want to talk to them too. I don't know, but I think if we don't invite people like that to our community, we probably won't get things done. So it was kind of a nice thing to happen. And again, I apologize for the air conditioning. So that's all I had. And
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
Can I add one thing to the cleanup? Where the City of Taft and the county have kind of agreed to do a cleanup on a quarterly basis. And of course, quarterly from here puts us in about the middle of summer, so maybe we'll do an early morning cleanup. But we're going to pick out different areas in and around the metropolitan Taft area to do cleanup. And hopefully this will generate some excitement from this past one, that more people will come out and help, because the more you have, the more gets done, and the easier it is, it's on everybody. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Miller. All right, moving on to the Planning Commissioner's report. Mr. Oren, do you have a report for us tonight?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Much of what you have said is encouraging. As you know, Mr. Eastwood has resigned his position, and there is an opening currently. It looks as if one of the other commissioners will not be seeking reappointment. So there is the potential for 2 openings on the Planning Commission, which we encourage the public and you to support in getting those positions filled as soon as possible. Our primary discussion during the meeting was in regards to the property that is referred to as south of Wood Street and west of Highway 33, the Taft mining property. And there's been a proposal to do a change of zone, or to specify the zone there more clearly, and the request is for industrial. Apparently there is a group of people that are interested in developing a portion of that property for an industrial use. In our discussion as the commission, we wanted to get some real clarification as to industrial. It was pointed out by Mr. Wages that industrial property has many different forms, and in other communities has zone designations from M1/2, M1, 2, and up to 3, which would be like a forge or smelting facility. So we, in our meeting that we have agreed to have next month, we would like to get some clarification on that for starters, and then the discussion of the downtown business district and what we can do to improve the opportunities. All of this leads us to, I think, a common goal, in that we are seeking as your representatives to ensure that development can happen. And as you look at our general plan map, it's maybe one of our discussion items is to revisit that. We have a lot of industrial land, but we don't have much designation for residential that would allow for a residential developer to come in. And working with the 2 groups of us together and the landowners, we hope to get a resolution so that we can move forward with the industrial zoning for the folks up here on the mining property, and then see what we can do about working in some residential uses in areas that maybe aren't specified correctly in the general plan at this time. That was about their extent of the discussion. Do you have questions?
Very good. No, I appreciate your your report.
Okay, so we look forward to a meeting in June.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that is in the works. The
All right.
Combined.
Thank
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Warren.
You're welcome.
We will move on to department reports.
Where'd that piece probably in? Now we're going to get the lowdown.
Good evening, Chief Whiting. He's got a smile on his face, so.
Good evening. I have just a couple items for the council tonight. One of them is graduation for the high schools, June 5th, and we will be there as a good show of security for our citizens of Taft during the graduation period, especially in light of what happened on January the 10th. We want to assure everybody that it'll be a nice and safe graduation, and we will have a pretty good police presence there with reserves and regular officers. So we'll be there for that. So I want to assure everybody that we want everybody to be safe. Second thing is, as we talked about, or as you folks talked about earlier about the dirt bikes, the first incident up on Rails to Trails was a lone dirt bike rider. Apparently he'd been up there for about an hour causing some havoc on the trail. We wanted to talk to him about it. He seemed to be a little evasive about that, and he took off through the side streets from the patrol sergeant, and then eventually climbed a hill and got away. And no, we don't take our cars out in the dirt. Without going too much into the overall plan, we're going to attempt to abate that at a different time with that particular gentleman. On to the second subject. As I was arriving here to council chambers tonight, my apologies for my tardiness. I seem to have to go talk with another gentleman about his dirt bike, which he promptly loaned to his brother, who's a juvenile and whose name I can't release. And yes, he's in custody, but not like you think. He's at Mercy Southwest. Apparently he, after popping a wheelie diagonal through our park and going out to the backside of the airport, he promptly crashed his motorcycle with a compound fracture to his left wrist and broke his clavicle and collarbone, and he's en route to the hospital with his mom. The older brother, who is over 18, will be charged with contributing to delinquency of a minor and vandalism to our park for riding the dirt bike through our greened area.
There you go. Thank you.
So we will take care of that problem. I was over at their house visiting them, and we were able to get him an ambulance and fire department right away to get him stabilized so that he can be transported right away. So we'll take care of that. When he was riding out of the park, I remember thinking that Murphy and Darwin were on each one of his shoulders. And I was trying to decide which one was going to win, and it turned out it was Murphy.
He's lucky.
Yes, yeah. Very lucky. You know, when I was growing up, I rode dirt bikes too, and I think everybody here has. But we try to ride them responsibly, and when we see stuff like this, it kind of causes some concern because the city's put out quite a bit of money for the rails to trails up there, and we want to keep it nice for everybody. And I have got a lot of comments from people about the rail section up there, the extension. The people here really like that, and they don't want to see it tore up. So the police department is going to see if we can ways to prevent some of that, especially in light of what happened tonight.
Very good.
And that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
Mr. Boyer?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm passing out to you is just a quick overview of the statistics on our website. Be happy to go over these in more detail and provide you additional details in the future if necessary or desired. But so far in the last 2.5 weeks that the website has been up, we've had approximately 1,500 visitors from 19 different countries, and they have visited over 9,000 pages on our website, page views on our site. Listed for you there some of the top 10 cities that the locations where those visits have come from. Of course, Bakersfield and Taft are the first two, and then we see a smattering of larger cities throughout the state, but we also have some out-of-state ones that are ranking in the top 10. St. Louis and Yuma, Arizona come in there. It also gives you an idea of, in the 19 countries, the top 5 were, of course, the United States, followed by India, China, Canada, and Iran. Interesting folks visiting our website. We are out there on the world, and nobody from North Korea. Absolutely.
They thought we had a nuclear facility.
They might be looking for it. But it does give you some ideas on where people are coming from. As you see there, we got about 80-20 regarding how they access it. About 20% are accessing it through a mobile device, i.e. a tablet or smartphone, where about 80% are going through either a traditional computer, desktop, or laptop computer connection as opposed to a mobile site. And then your visitors, you see you have just under 1,000 new visitors, that is first-time visitors or first-time accessing from that particular address, with about half of those being returning visitors, just over 500 of those. And then it shows you the pages, that the average page per visit. For a new visitor, on an average, they visit 4.3 pages on our site, and for a returning visitor, just over 9 pages are visited. So it looks like those returning visitors are going through and getting more information. And then also, just as an aside there, it kind of gives us where these folks are coming from. As you can see, about 42% of them came directly to our site, i.e. putting in City of Taft or some other direction right in their search bar. Other ones of them, another third of them are coming from a Google or equivalent organic site where they're putting in as a generic search term. And then the remaining are coming through either Facebook or some other referral site. The jobs at ICC is actually a website we have listing for one of our positions on right now. So that's why that is ranking as one of the higher domestic sites. And to date, we have actually received no public concerns on our website so far. No one has submitted a complaint or concern.
It was a test. So I got a complaint. It was a test.
Might say our website again for viewing
yes,
public.
yeah, the website, we encourage you to visit it, is cityoftaft.org.
And one of the really interesting parts of that is our police department. I know the chief put together, if you get on the cityoftaft.org and click through it, but click on the police department, they've put the whole history of the Taft Police Department from 1900 to the present day.
Yes.
So it's quite a
extensive.
Just to see that, it's worth it to get on the site.
It's very good. Thank you. This is very interesting.
Good evening.
Deborah?
We've been very busy, the Enterprise Zone and Economic Development. I'll start with our voucher activity. In 2012, which was our first real full year of the Enterprise Zone, we vouchered a total of 23 applications. And since the start of 2013, we have already approved 65 applications.
Wow.
So
wow,
that's great.
The program is moving well right now. So,
that's good.
And we've done a lot of extra marketing, going out to the sites and personally visiting with the owners, and so I think that has a lot to do with it, and word of mouth of those that are participating. So that's going well.
Good.
Most of our marketing efforts have been geared towards the business owners and the employers. But we decided to take another direction with that, and we have these little cards made.
Thank you, Doug.
We decided to institute another tool that focuses more on those who are looking for employment. So we came up with these Enterprise Zone identification cards. And we implemented this at the recent Job Fest with the Department of Human Services. And what we did was we took a short questionnaire. It basically was just the 13 categories that employees can qualify under. And as they stopped by our booth, we asked them if they could answer yes to any of those questions. And if they did, we gave them one of these cards and briefly explained the program to them and said, if you have an interview with any of these employers or any other employers, show them this card, and hopefully they'll know about the program. And if they don't, maybe it will pique their interest and they'll call. And so it kind of works in a dual mode there.
Good idea.
Yeah, very good idea.
I like that.
We also recently attended the CalEd conference in Long Beach, and some of those sessions, the topics included effective strategies for stimulating local business through self-employment, people that are interested in becoming self-employed, but also what they call micro business trends, and that is businesses that need less than $35,000 to start up, and they generally only hire 5 or less employees. So that's kind of a big trend right now throughout the state and the country. So they talked about that a lot. Also using tourism for economic development. This focused on tourist improvement districts, and this is something that might be of interest once the hotel goes in. It might benefit the downtown area, and that's something that we might look at. Also, implementing tools within your planning department that further economic development, and those had to do with general plan amendments and targeting industries in order to promote economic development. And the last session we attended was presented by USDA, and that was regarding new ideas for rural areas and creating new ways to come up with funding without huge amounts of money. And so they have a lot of new funding programs there. So. On April 24th, we traveled to Sacramento for Legislative Action Day, and we met with Shannon Grove, and we discussed in addition to the enterprise zone, we also discussed our local courthouse situation and the CCF. And so that meeting went well. We also met with Todd Moffett from Gene Fuller's office. So we talked about those same issues with her office as well. The League of California Cities had a briefing on the enterprise zone and the new regulations that are being proposed. So we attended that briefing. And we continue to participate with the League of California Cities and the California
everything's either book solid or there's a cost involved. The other thing I wanted to mention was on June 4th, there will be a public hearing and election for the special, or the proposed special assessment district and the fees associated with that. And actually, this is kind of directed towards the residents, the property owners on Sage Street, James, Mallory, Lee, Brandon. I don't remember all the names of the streets up there.
Parkview Village.
Parkview Village. There's a small segment on Pilgrim and Sunset. There's some homes in there that would be affected by the assessment district. And also the street, I think it's Amber Street, up of Front Street. All the property owners received a packet like this, and there was 108 of them that went out. And in that packet was a ballot, along with why the assessment needs to be formed and what the fees need to be in order to sustain that that landscape district. Then there was a ballot, and on that ballot, you need to fill out either a yes or a no and mail it in the green envelope that to get 108 of them back.
Good.
Okay?
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Louise. Appreciate it. Any other department reports? Oh, yes, I was just going to take a moment to introduce Brent. Everybody knows Brent anyway, but Brent Moon has graciously agreed to be at our meetings, and I offered him the opportunity to speak during our department reports because you are our fire department.
Thank you. We are your fire department.
Thank you.
We're glad to be here. And I just wanted to remind everybody with a little preview we had about fire season coming up. We have some dry fuels. It's already August and September as far as the mid-slope to timber knows about the fuels already. So with that said, we have a real concern about hazard reduction, the weeds around your house, accumulation of combustibles, vacant structures, ongoing problems we've had. Cleanups like on Wood Street and stuff help a lot, but the people that live here, like you said, Mayor, the council have expressed, this is our community, and the way you protect it is by taking care of it. So it's really important people keep their eyes open, they take care of their yards, take care of what needs to be done. June 15th is the cutoff for us as far as after that, if you have a violation, you are going to be cited for that. With code enforcement in the city, we're working on that kind of stuff to try and make sure everybody understands that their responsibility to clean things up. Also, we've had a lot of help with the community is the eyes and ears out there, just like you said, developing deals, finding a neighbor, hearing something, seeing something. Hopefully we're getting enough information to take care of these arson problems we've been having around town. We need people to keep their eyes open and see the common traffic that's going around and some things like that so we can put the pieces of those puzzles together. So we really ask the public to do their part and sharing information with law enforcement and us and the city and everybody, and also to make sure their property is safe. If we don't have enough resources to respond to every call as fast as we'd like sometimes when we get really busy, and that could potentially happen this year. So things are going to burn, but if your property's safe, then you don't have to worry about it so much, and that's what we want, to make sure people don't lose their property or get injured. So take care of it ahead of time, because when the fire's burning, it's too late.
That's true. That's
all right.
Very true.
And if you had any questions like that, I'd be willing to.
I was going to ask you, the secret witness program, if somebody is aware of an arsonist, can they go through the secret witness program? Will that get to you guys, or is that strictly police?
I think it goes through our arson investigators are tied with the sheriff's department and in the same network.
So
Yes.
if they call the secret witness program, they're not identified, but it might give you guys a lead to solve some issues.
I'll confirm that, but I believe that's true.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you. Gentlemen, any questions?
No, thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Tell your guys thanks for all they do, too.
Please do. Okay, very good. We'll move on to city manager statements.
Thank you, Mayor. Just back a minute to the TAP cleanup day. During those planning meetings, we discussed if we had a great turnout, what other areas could we do that same day? And we pointed out the Harrison Street entrance and the trees and the tree wells and the dead trees down there. Through the supervisor's office and Ryan Schultz, they got a hold of Kern County Parks and Rec, and they take care of that area. And basically, we know they're busy. They have a lot of area to cover. We were just gaining their permission to go down there and trim some trees and stuff. They took that opportunity to step up and do it themselves, and they went down there and replaced all the dead trees. They asked, what kind of trees did the folks staff want to see down there? And I think everyone would agree we would all like to see the original plum trees put back down there. So the replacement trees they put were the original plum trees that we all remember as kids going down there and picking. So hopefully they're fruit-bearing trees. So. But anyway, it looks great down there. They did a great job. So kudos to the Kern County Parks and Recs. They're doing a great job. They have a lot of area to cover, and they don't have a whole lot of money. So they did a great job. We got a call today with from a local media outlet with a concern from a citizen or a group of citizens concerning the proposed rate increase for our sewer rates. And they were trying to put the a slight misunderstanding that the rate increase might be tied to our recent sewer spill. And I just wanted to give kind of a history lesson on where we're at with our infrastructure in Taft, the sewer plant, where we were 5 years ago with a plant cost and information on the sewer spill. For one, the sewer spill was covered by our a policy. Not to say there wasn't a lot of staff time involved to get that all worked out with all the agencies involved. We're still working through it, but that problem was taken care of through a policy. A little over 5 years ago, when I started here at Public Works, we were looking at a $34.9 million upgrade to our sewer plant. And we were trying to build a sewer plant that could handle all the proposed housing that we were looking at during that time. And of course, that was before the economic downturn. There was many rooftops planned in our community, I think somewhere around 3,500. But looking at the cost, we knew that was not feasible to put that on the backs of our current ratepayers. Of course, we went out and looked for grants. During that time, we had a new president-elect, and there was a lot of claims for stimulus money that was going to pay for everything. So, of course, we applied for $35 million worth of stimulus money to pay for a new plant, and we were promptly denied.
Go big or go home, right?
So then we looked at what that would do to our rates and to our current ratepayers, and it was going to cause a five-fold increase just to pay for a bond or some type of financing. So then we started really looking at what do we need to get by and not really put a Band-Aid on it, but get us, 15, 20 years down the road. So through the use of a few consultants and staff time and many Public Works Committee meetings with our council, we whittled this project down to $3.5 million. And it's a good project. It buys us a little bit of capacity. It replaces a lot of old technology. It brings us up to date with the current standards. And we were also able to secure funding through USDA low interest loan for disadvantaged communities, which saved money. So the rate increase is combined of, I believe, over 15 years of no increases, new regulations, and aging infrastructure. That's truly the cause of the proposed rate increase. So I just wanted to clarify that everything wasn't fine and we had a sewer spill, so we're trying to raise the rates to pay our fines or whatever was being claimed. So that's all I have. Just wanted to set that straight. And I know that the mayor and Councilman Miller has spent a lot of time in Public Works Committee meetings talking about this sewer plant for well over 5 years.
Yes.
And
I know a lot more about sewer than I ever thought I would.
But there was a lot of planning put into what we actually spent our money on before we went to MBS and proposed a rate study to see what our rates would increase, or what the proposed increases would be. And not to say they're not astronomical, but they're what we need to survive and continue to pay our bills out there. So.
Very good.
That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 9, which is city attorney statements, and on to the new face of Coca-Cola at our city.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. I have nothing for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
First time at the podium.
Dave always told us real big stories.
Item number 10 is future agenda requests. Gentlemen, is there any requests for agenda requests?
Not this evening, thank you.
The only thing that I have is that I would like to request that a resolution or report or whatever you need to do regarding the United Way campaign, the signage.
Yeah, we'll do a resolution and we'll have them do a
kind of an MOU and stuff like that.
I'll concur on that.
Okay. And then the second one I would ask for is if there is a letter of support or a resolution of support that we could get to Senator Fuller, well, to start with her, but also Shannon Grove, and even Kevin McCarthy in support of the shale oil exploration out here. There's a lot of shove and push right now that fracking is a dangerous, vile way to extract oil, and it would be if you were maybe sitting on a great basin of fresh water, but we don't here. And there's actually some legislation going through the powers that be up there that is trying to stop fracking or change the rules for fracking that would make it almost impossible to do oil exploration. But if you could research that and just some sort of a support to our legislators.
Would you guys also like to see an opposition letter to the oil tax?
Oh, absolutely. I hadn't heard about that one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, excise tax.
Yeah, we don't need to kill what's going on in our community right now. And
Sacramento is known for not being patient enough to let that goose lay the golden egg. They just want to butcher the goose and eat the goose.
Yeah. I know I think they had a hearing last week on that, Sacramento.
Yeah. So we'll leave it to you guys to word it up really nice. But we definitely want to support those that are supporting our industry in this area. So appreciate that. And I don't know, did I get a concurrence on that?
I concur on that.
Absolutely.
I just take it for
unanimous concurrence. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the consent calendar, items 11 through 23. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. And tonight, the items are 11, minutes of April 16th regular meeting. Item 12, payment of bills. 13, video retention and action minutes. Item 14, funding of the Taft Chamber of Commerce for the quarter of July 2012 to September 2012. Item 15 is funding of the Taft Chamber of Commerce for the quarter of October 12 to December 12. And I might add that the two combined amounts on that's a little over $5,000. And looking at these dates, I almost feel like the state of California, but but we're getting it to you. So, item number 16 is approval of a resolution authorizing signature of the mayor or the city manager for Caltrans program supplement agreement number N015 which will be used to construct a bike pedestrian path along Hillard Street from A Street to the Rails to Trails connection. And that's to Master Agreement 06-5193R. Number 17 is consider of approval of the general plan amendment to revise the Taft General Plan land use element map for approximately 10 acres of land generally located west of State Route 33 and south of Wood Street from low-density residential to industrial. City of Taft is the applicant. 18 is to solicit bids to complete the disinfection system upgrades as defined at the federal wastewater treatment plant. 19 is execute a contract reassignment from Southwest Water Company to Severn Trent Services for operations and maintenance of the wastewater treatment facilities. Item 20, execute service agreement with Bright House to provide telephone and internet service at the wastewater treatment plant. Item 21 is the virtual incubator license program. Item number 22 is animal shelter contract MOU with the City of Maricopa. And item number 23 is to authorize finance director to deposit funds in escrow account as directed by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife as a result of the sewer spill that occurred on March 12, 2013.
Might mention the amount that we have to put in escrow on that.
The amount is, it is a dollar amount of $17,325. And basically, this will sit in an escrow account to ensure that we do everything that we're supposed to do in the next 10 years. 18 months. It's 18 months, I'm sorry.
18 months, I believe, is they'll consider the project complete, not sign it over the offset line.
Very good. Thank you. So, gentlemen, are there any items that you would like to remove from this consent calendar? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar items, items 11 through 23.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Pryor?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldrop?
Yes.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes. Thank you. That passes 5-0. Did we get everybody?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I thought we missed somebody.
I had a little man sits on your shoulder bag over here. That's all right.
You know, when it gets to me, I figure it's all done.
Yes.
Okay, the last item on tonight's agenda, other than our closed session, is item 24, appoint one member to the Taft City Planning Commission to fill unscheduled vacancy. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Pursuant to Section 5783.5 of the California Public Resources Code and the city's policy regarding appointments to boards and commissions, notice has been duly advertised informing those interested to submit an application for serving on the City of Taft Planning Commission. The resignation of former Planning Commissioner James Fleetwood left an unscheduled vacancy for a term ending June 30th, 2015. City of Taft Policies and Procedures Manual, Section 103, states that members of the Planning Commission are appointed by the City Council. 3 applications have been received by the April 29, 2013 deadline. The applicants were verified as registered voters living within the Taft City limits by the City Clerk. The candidates were invited to attend this meeting and be prepared to tell a little bit about themselves, perhaps answer a few questions about the council, by the council. Copy of the applications received from Shannon Jones, Bob Jordan, and Bob Lyken are attached. There are 3 planning commissioners' terms that are scheduled to end on June 30th, and they have each been sent a letter notifying them that their terms are nearing completion and are welcome to apply for another term. Advertising for the 3 positions began April 26th. Mr. Jordan, Mr. Lycum, and Ms. Jones have each been told that their applications will be carried over if they are not selected for this evening's appointment.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I would like to first note that Ms. Shannon Jones and Mr. Bob Jordan and Mr. Bob Lyken are in the audience tonight. It's not our goal to put you on the spot or make you uncomfortable, but I would ask that you, as you're called, to come to the podium and just tell us, if nothing else, just start the conversation. Tell us why you want to be on the Planning Commission. And I'm not going in any specific order, but I'll ask Ms. Shannon Jones to come forward first. And gentlemen, you can ask questions. I don't mean to preclude that, but we want you to be comfortable. And first of all, I'd like to also say I appreciate all of you in applying for, we have one position, but there may be others, but we'll see what happens. So, welcome.
Welcome. Well, thank you. My name is Shannon Jones, and I have been the event coordinator for the Taft Chamber of Commerce for the past 2 years. During that time, I also have been attending Cal State Bakersfield, where I will graduate in June with my master's in social administration. So basically, part of the reason I would like to be on the Planning Commission is I would like to continue the vision of Taft and contribute to the planning of the city of Taft. I have been a resident here for the past 8 years. I have 2 kids who are in this community, and I have enjoyed working with not only the city of Taft and the council, but also with the chamber and the different businesses. So that's all I got.
No, that's very good. Thank you. Gentlemen, any questions?
No question.
All right. We're going to be gentle.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. And it looks like Mr. Bob Jordan is our next candidate. Mr. Jordan, I saw that you served in the Navy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Took the first line of my speech out.
No, you can say it again, please.
Okay. I'm a pastor. I'm also a Fort Beatty. I've been born and raised here in Taft. And my family's been involved with politics here in Taft for many, many years. My grandfather was the first deputy sheriff appointed in Taft. And my father even ran for supervisor. But I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. I was an E4, and I was in nuclear submarine services. And there you have to learn how to run everything. I can light off a reactor at this time if I have to. My main job there, even though I was a cook, was I would take pictures of enemy installations through the periscope, and at night we would go ashore in a dinghy and take close-ups. So I'm familiar with keeping my mouth shut. And for the last 9 years, I've worked for the Kern County Elections Department, supervisor of the area down in Ford City, the site. I most recently was president of Taft Mounted for You, and that was a program for feeding meals, free hot meals, giving free clothing to the poor of Taft. And before we could do that, we had to rebuild the building. I had to go in and physically do blueprints and remodel the building, and to do that, to make the environmental health codes I had to know. I had to learn all the building codes. I had to get permits. I wrote grants, and I wrote and got a 501c3. That I did for 9 years. I have 4 rentals here in Taft. I've currently purchased a house down in Ford City, and I'm rebuilding it and bringing it up to code. I am a chaplain at the Bakersfield Homeless Center. I'm involved with the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm a member of the Downtown Business Committee. I love Taft. I was born here. When I got out of the service, I said, could I stay in San Francisco? I was offered a job, but no, I came back. This is my town, and I'm going to die here. Not tonight.
Not tonight. Well, we hope not.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Very good. Thank you. And then I would ask Mr. Lycum to please come forward.
Thank you, guys. This is a little different because I enjoy working with Shannon at the Chamber, and I'm familiar with Bob's work with Manna for You also. Bob Lycum, owner of Domino's Pizza here in town. Like many people in this room, I live here, I work here, raise my kids here, have a world record through Guinness, like everybody.
Just like everybody.
If appointed to the commission, I bring over 30 years of experience with small business. Also the design, construction, and blueprints with small businesses also. But I enjoy Taft. I want to be a part of it. I like this place. I care for Taft. I stood before the council 2-3 years ago when the Fox Theater was closed and expressed my concerns at that time about the Fox Theater. I care about rails to trails. I care about the health care of Taft. I care about the new construction of homes here in Taft, the development of downtown. I want to be an active part of this community. I enjoy being here. And it's been said before, I wasn't born here, but I did get here as fast as I could.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lycum. I like that.
I've heard that before. I think the mayor's used that too.
Yeah, look where it got me. Well, again, I appreciate you being here and your interest in serving the citizens of City of Taft. And typically, we have to do this in an open forum, and so I hope that nobody takes exception to our vote. It's got to come out with one winner, and we have three, and we're fortunate that we have three people applying. So
3 good ones.
Very good ones. And my caveat is, if you're not selected this time, please. Well, you already have applied again. That's right. We're carrying them over. So I got that.
They have no choice.
I got that. You will be back. So I guess I will ask the clerk to poll the board. And gentlemen, if you just state the name of the candidate that you would like to see in the office. And I will also say that we also the council received your bios, your work experience, your education, your family, everything that you gave the city, we've already had the opportunity to review individually. So however you'd like to do it.
Okay. Councilmember Cryer,
Like him?
Councilmember Miller,
You know, it is a tough choice, and I know all 3 candidates, but I would like to throw in the hat Mr. Lycum.
Councilmember Noor,
Well, thank you. You remembered me this time, didn't you? Had to make a hard left there. I too would like to thank everybody. Public service is huge, and there's some really exciting things going on in this community, and people wanting to be a part of it is nice. And I expect that at some point in time, you'll all have that opportunity. At this point in time, I would concur with the other council members that Mr. Lycum would be my choice.
You and I don't even have to vote, I guess.
No.
Oh, well, you and I.
We don't have to go. We don't have to. We won't feel bad.
I don't have to make anybody mad.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be a cold way to get out of it.
Councilmember Waldrop,
Like him.
Mayor Linder.
Actually, my choice is Mr. Lycum also. And again, I appreciate all of your applications. I think by the vote, if my count is correct, that would be a 5-0 vote for Mr. Lycum. Okay. So Mr. Lycum, welcome aboard. We expect much from you, and the thanks will come rolling in like crazy. Public service.
You still vote? Okay.
Well, or we didn't read it. But Miss Jones, thank you so much. Mr. Jordan, thank you again for applying. And we've got your names. We're not going to let you go that easy. So, very good. So I guess, do we need to vote? Is that just it's just not a roll call?
No.
All right, so.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Seeing none, we will move on. And at this time, we will recess to closed session. The closed session items will be, the City Council will hold a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 to give direction to its labor negotiator concerning labor negotiations, all units. And item B, at this time, the City Council will hold a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 for the council to give instructions to its negotiator, Craig Jones, regarding negotiation for real property, undisclosed locations. This time, we're recessed to closed session. Thank you for being here tonight.